Welcome and good afternoon to the American Academy of Ophthalmology's 122nd annual meeting. We're very excited to welcome you as a new exhibitor. The meeting in Chicago is sure to be a tremendous success. We will be hosting that in conjunction with the Pan American Association of Ophthalmology. This webinar today is the introduction to the new exhibitor onboarding program that the Academy has in place to help you be effective and successful at your first experience exhibiting with the Academy. The web briefing, How to Have a Positive and Productive Exhibiting Experience, is now moving forward. We understand the exhibitors at the Academy's meeting are our partners and are very important to the success of the Academy's annual meeting. You know, our surveys indicate that attendees rank seeing new products and vendors as the top reason for attending. You know, new exhibiting companies in the exhibit hall, of course, keep it very interesting. The Academy, with its longevity, have many exhibitors on the show floor that have been with us more than 25 years. But our new exhibitors and our new exhibitor pavilion is what also draws attendees to the show floor.
All right.
We want to make sure that you are successful in everything possible.
All right, Anna, let's do a quick poll. I'd like to find out who is with us on today's web briefing. You'll see the poll is live right now. Click the radio dial button that applies. If it's you and your company's the first time, click that. If it's your first time, but your company's been coming for a while, click that. If it's the opposite, where you're with a new company, but you've exhibited with another company, click that. And if you're an active exhibitor, not a new exhibitor, click that. I'll give you just a moment to complete this, and we'll share the results. It'll help Anna and I kind of tailor our content as we move forward. On 3, 2, 1, if you haven't polled yet, we're well over 80%, up to 90. Thank you. Here we go. So as you can see, 60% of you are brand new, both individual and company. 20%, it's your company's first time, but not yours, so you've exhibited with somebody else. And 13% of you have exhibited with us before. So we're excited to have you on today's web briefing. Back to you, Anna.
Great, thank you, Jefferson. We're just very excited to have you at the meeting this year, and one of the things we want you to be aware of is that the new exhibitor onboarding program is available to you free of charge to help you in so many planning and executables that will help you look at your strategies for attending the meeting and hosting your products and services in your booth in the new exhibitor pavilion. The AAO commitment, we have a resource center, a resource page on our website specifically for new exhibitors that really outlines the articles and planning strategies and exercises and downloadable tools that you will be able to see and view 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can share this with your marketing staff. And what's really great and a resource to you is that Jefferson and his team is available should you have any specific questions about these tools. And of course, then I've also, I'm sure have already had some interaction with the Academy's exhibition department. We're here to help you succeed. Your success is our success. You, I'm sure, have worked with LaShawn. She handles all of the sales and information for exhibitors who may be, this may be their first time or are returning exhibitors. Arlene Moraga, she's our contact and has been your contact for new exhibiting companies, collecting information and sending and welcoming information to you. And Abigail Grieber is our promotions manager, and she will, and it helps exhibitors get their messaging out post-show and at show in the many marketing opportunities available. And with that, I'd like to introduce Jefferson, who's been the Academy's vendor for many, many years, helping us educate exhibitors with all the strategies and processes that are so very important to their success. Jefferson?
All right, Anna. Thank you so much to you, Anna, and the team at AAO, really for caring enough about exhibitors to not just rent them concrete and kind of hope they find their way, but I'm honored to be part of your ongoing exhibitor success team. For those of you who haven't been with me, my background's real simple: trade shows. Got tossed into my first show in 1985, really became a student of exhibiting in 1988. In 1991, I launched Competitive Edge Training as a training consulting firm, and I've been on the hunt for how do you make sure that every dollar and every hour that you invest in your exhibiting program is supporting your company's core objectives and delivering measurable financial value beyond cost. In short, how do you turn your trade show program around from what might be an expensive appearance to a productive, profitable investment? And I've been on the hunt for those factors. I'm proud to say of the companies I've done direct training consulting with that combined, we can now trace almost $800 million in sales results from trade shows. So we know this stuff works, and I'm glad you're with me today, and I'm glad you're taking advantage of this. So let's begin at the beginning here. If we're going to make our trade show program ultimately productive and profitable, the first thing we got to do is get clear on what this is really all about. Trade shows are about face and next. Most of the other benefits like branding and lead generation and positioning, you can achieve those through other marketing channels. Magic power of trade shows is putting your company identity, your products, and your staff face to face with people who can influence and make buying decisions. And that's the big idea as we start off. That being said, it makes succeeding as an exhibitor so much easier, as you'll see as we work through this content. So number two, big idea. We have to shift from it's 3 days out there in the future to it's a 6-month campaign. So as exhibitors, we really have to be getting in early enough, congratulations, all of you are, and blocking out time to do the right things before the show, at the show, and after the show. And the problem for most exhibitors, in my experience now in over 30 years, is that the average exhibitor today spends 95% of their pre-show time on logistics and operations. What do I mean by that? Get the space, get the booth, get the graphics, get the products, get the people, ship it and fly them there, set it up, tear it down, send it home, do all that on time and on budget, and call it pre-show planning. I don't really call that pre-show planning. I call that dealing with logistics and operations. Now, you have to do that, right? You have to deal with those things to get there. But here's the big idea. The only thing living in the logistics operation trap guarantees is that your booth, your products, your people show up. It really doesn't guarantee that you're going to get anything from it. So what Anna and myself and the entire team at AAO want to make sure is that you're focused on doing the right things at the right time frames so you win this game, because we want you to win and we want you to be an exhibitor for life. And we realize for that to happen, you have got to get results. So where do we need to focus beyond logistics? Well, in 30 years of doing this, in working with hundreds of companies and pulling over $800 million in results out of shows, I think we have cracked the code. There are 5 critical success factors that if you address all 5 of these, you'll win at every show you do. If you neglect or you avoid any one or any combination of these 5, you're going to limit your results. So let me add some color commentary onto what these are. Okay, so if you want value and you want return on investment, invest some time addressing these 5 factors. Number 1, define your outcomes. Stephen Covey, in his great book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, habit number 1, be proactive. Habit number 2, begin with the end in mind. So the major question that each of us as exhibitors need to ask and answer is, when the doors close on the AAO annual meeting, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months after the show, how are we going to know that we succeeded in the areas of marketing, sales, customer relationship management? We have to define what success looks like in advance, and then we reverse engineer the outcome. Clarity is power. Focus is power. Having a game plan is power. So what you want to do is define what it looks like, set clear goals, create workable action plans, communicate to your entire team, execute, and measure. Begin with the end in mind, define your outcomes, number 1. And strangely enough, by the way, only 1 out of 4 exhibiting companies, on average, have a clear set of written goals backed up with action plans. I learned years ago that if you want to succeed, find out what people that succeeding are doing and do that. If you want to fail, find out what failures are doing and do that. The companies that are struggling are not defining clear outcomes. Okay, number 2. This is a big show, and Anna's going to show you in a few moments a deeper dive on who the audience is, why they attend, what they expect, and all of that. But here's the big idea, okay? Number 2, selective attraction. Not everybody that attends is your target visitor, 1. And 2, you can't handle everybody that attends. In fact, you have a very limited or a finite amount of interaction capacity. So what we got to do is define who is your target visitor, how much is enough, what is your value proposition, and how are you going to communicate pre and at show to get enough of the right people to your exhibit. For most exhibitors, the single biggest factor limiting their results is their inability to get enough of the right people to their exhibit. Number 3, manage the visitor experience. The visitor experience means your booth, the look, the graphics, the imagery, how easy it is to enter and exit, the messaging, how you're showing, telling, presenting your product or service, and your booth staff. And you have to synchronize these 3 things so you deliver a quality interactive experience that secures a commitment to a clear next action. Manage the visitor experience, number 3. Number 4, lead management. Okay, if you're not signing contracts on the show floor, you're not writing orders, and you ever hope to get hard dollar return on investment, the real product of the show for you is leads. So we got to get control of our lead management process. First, we have to identify, what does a qualified lead look like? What information do we need to elicit and capture? Then we got to develop a qualification process and a capture device. And then we've got to train our booth staff on engaging, guiding the conversation with questions, capturing the right information, and getting commitment to next step, and of course, following up. Number 5, measurement and learning. Each of us need a simple set of metrics so we can quickly determine how well did we execute our exhibit, where did we get value, where did we get return on investment, and what did we learn from this so we can get even better results at our next show. So this might be a good time for each of you to score yourself on a 1 to 5 on these 5 factors. A 5, very effective. You have this absolutely in control. A 1, you're not addressing it. So go ahead and score yourself on those 5 factors. That'll kind of give you a sense of where you really need to put the heavy focus going forward. Okay, now, as Anna showed you earlier, we're not just going to rent you booth space and hope this works out for you. We're going to give you the closest thing to a hand-holding program, by the way, that has been developed and refined over 27 years and has generated over close to $800 million in results. And we're giving you all this stuff for free as part of your exhibit package. So here's the first thing I want you to do after today's web briefing. I want you to go to the Exhibitor Success and ROI Center page, and I want you to download these 3 tools. There's a cost control tool, there's a 16-week planning tool, which is going to blow you away because you're going to be able to do almost everything from within that tool, and last but not least, there's a exhibit and financial performance metric tool. Download the tools. They're priceless. They're the exact same stuff when I work with a company directly that we use internally. You're getting access to it for free. So step 1, go download them. Number 2, define who's on your team. Schedule 5 90-minute blocks between now and showtime. And I've put target blocks on here for you. Okay, these are suggested time frames. And you can see you don't have a lot of time, so you got to move quick. 90 minutes, get your team together, complete the exercise on or around the target dates. It'll walk you through all 5 critical success factors. And Anna's going to email you the exercises one at a time around these time frames, and you can grab them anytime you want on the Exhibitor Success page. No charge. They're available anytime you want. Next, let's go ahead and take our first swing at defining an outcome for the show. And this will give you a sense of how powerful this program we're sharing with you is today. Okay, this is how to calculate your potential sales up. I do need to stress it's not a guarantee of results, but it is a proven formula. If you use accurate numbers, the formula is pretty doggone accurate. I've been using it for 20 years. Okay, so you start with the number of exhibiting hours in the show. Write that down, and it'll be helpful for you to actually do this with me. The show has 28 exhibiting hours, okay? Next, how many people are going to be standing in your booth for the purpose of talking to attendees? If you're in a single booth, a 10 by 10, you have space for 2 staff, maybe 3. Don't overstaff, don't understaff. Next, listen carefully. I want you to set a target number of visitor interactions per hour per staffer. The range, 3 to 5. 3 is conservative, 4 is moderate, 5 is maybe aggressive. Now, you have one of the most important numbers you will ever understand about winning the exhibiting game. For you to win at the AAO annual meeting, all you need to do is attract and interact with 168 attendees. This is going to make your life so much easier. You don't have to worry about this stuff. Between now and showtime, you want to get in the mind, on the agenda of the best 168 people. Now, let's keep peeling the onion here. This formula can take you all the way to your return on investment. Okay, next. Some percentage of your interactions are going to convert to a lead. The benchmark is 1 out of 4, or 25%. So use that as a starting point. In this example, you would have a goal, 42 leads by closing time. Some percentage of your leads and or visitors, if you are in a situation where you can sign contracts, will convert to an order. The benchmark is 2 out of 10, or 20%. Okay, so in this example, I would have 8 orders. Next, take either the average sale amount or the value of a customer. In my example, it's $15,000, and now you have your potential sales opportunity. In this example, for this small exhibitor, 3 interactions per hour, 1 out of 4 convert to lead, 2 out of 10 convert to business. This exhibitor has a $120,000 potential sales opportunity. Now, I'd like to see that you understand this formula. So if you would take a moment, go to your question queue, and send me what your what I'm going to call your PSO is, your potential sales op for the upcoming show. And by the way, if you have questions on this, type them in right now. Okay, I'll give you a moment to do that. Okay. Here's the thing. Remember I said your life gets easy when you realize for you to win the game, all you need to do is attract and interact with 168? Well, we're expecting over 14,000 physicians and ophthalmic health professionals. It's not that hard to win this game if you do it right. But I tell you what, if you just rent space, show up, and hope, and you don't do any of this stuff, you're going to struggle. This is a big show, right? So it's important that you follow the game plan that we are giving you here. All right, next. Now, the articles, the 5 planning exercises are the framework. All of the webinar replays and the articles that we have on the ESRC, which are all free and all available to you, help you fill in the blanks on those exercises. So you'll notice how to make your exhibit stand out, how to drive qualified booth traffic, how to discover and deliver your value proposition, how to prepare your booth staff, how to get better leads, how to measure. There's a webinar which is approximately 45 minutes on each one of these topics. So I would also suggest on the day that you block the time to do the exercise, watch the appropriate webinar and download the articles. There's additional content to give you insights and ideas to make sure you complete those 5 exercises. Okay, and we're not done yet. Number 4 is that you have unlimited access, courtesy of AAO, to me and a team of trade show experts. Anytime you got questions, go in to the webpage, type your question, press send. We will respond quickly. And many of my team members are certified trade show marketers. So you'll be getting expert advice from people who know how to do this at no charge to you, with absolutely no sales pitches. We're all here for one reason, to help you win the game. Okay? Next, this one is going to blow your mind. So we're going to be at the show too. We're going to come by, visit your booth in action as a new exhibitor, and we're going to do a 21-point in-depth evaluation. We're going to score your exhibit on 21 factors. If we see anything that we think you can tweak right now at the show and you're open to it, we'll point it out. We'll even help you, right? Again, this is free. After the show, you're going to get a 5-page report, which is amazing. It has photographs, comments, scoring, click-through access with instructions on how to raise any underperforming scores. So this program, this entire program, from the 3 tools, the 5 planning exercises, the exhibit evaluation, and all the content, is the equivalent of a $10,000 program, and it's all free to you, courtesy of AAO. Okay, I know I've hit you with a lot there, so think about any questions that have come up. We're tracking pretty good on time here, so I'm going to take a look into the question queue. The first question that I'm seeing is there a way this formula might work when the product is a digital application with a subscription model? Yeah, this formula works whether you have a product or a service, because at the end game, what you're trying to get is some percentage of your visitors to take an action. So if you have a digital application with a subscription model, what you're looking for is the ability to secure subscriptions. So yes, it works exactly the same way. Now, some people might be impressed enough at the show to sign up for your subscription model, and many need to analyze it. So you're going to have a combination of maybe at-show subscriptions, post-show subscriptions, and the formula will help you do that. So keep firing away with questions if you have any, and while you're thinking about that, I'm going to bring Anna back for a moment to kind of take you inside of the AAO attendee. It's important that you understand this audience. Anna?
Thank you, Jefferson. Boy, that's a lot of information, and what a wealth of tools that are available for these new exhibitors. Who attends the annual meeting? Well, you know, we attract, we are the largest ophthalmic event in the world, and we bring approximately, as you see on the screen, there are nearly 12,000 ophthalmologists. This was the attendance results from New Orleans. We also verify our attendance. We don't just print our registration results. We actually verify that these physicians and healthcare professionals were at the meeting. What attracts ophthalmologists from the world is the peer-reviewed educational content that's presented at our meeting. It is just amazing. In fact, in the pre-show and the subspecialty days, we have, 8 programs running. And our exhibiting companies remain at about 500, over 500. If you want to move to the next slide, Jefferson, these are the demographics that are posted on the Exhibitor Central on the Academy's website. And these were the figures, again, from the 2017 meeting in New Orleans, with the breakdown on the number of physicians in the various specialty categories of the field. And as you can see there, comprehensive ophthalmologist and the retina vitreous surgeons are the highest number of attending physicians, and then you'll go along there and see that it's broken out by cataract, glaucoma, cornea, oculofacial, plastic and reconstructive surgery, pediatric ophthalmology, and so forth. And with the, you may ask yourself, and I'm sure you have as you were inquiring about participating at the Academy's meeting, just how and why you were being placed in a new exhibitor pavilion. And with this large educational content held over these 3.5 days of the meeting, it's very important that exhibitors communicate to our attendees pre-show to let them know that they are participating at on the show floor, and that new exhibitor pavilion allows the attendees in the short period of time they have to visit the show floor, one area to go to see the latest innovations, products, and trends. We also, of course, want to be sure that you have the opportunity to do that. One of the new things that just launched is our virtual exhibition and your free digital booth. You should have received an email asking you to create a password for your free digital booth and set up that information. This is a primary tool that we place on the exhibitions web page of the Academy, that attendees can preview our exhibitors in advance and see what products and services will be showcased. One of the important categories for you to choose is new exhibitor. So if anybody selects what's new in the show floor, that'll be searched, and all of your information will be, all the new exhibitors will be highlighted. The ophthalmologists and attendees at trade shows these days do plan ahead. They want to set agendas and visit booths with products and services that support what they are doing in their practices. So be sure to populate that digital booth. That is where they'll get the information on just what you are offering. Attendees are also, of course, they don't want to just come by. They want to have hands-on experiences and have some sort of a journey of understanding your product or service in the information that you're providing in your booth. Be sure to watch the webinar that's posted on the exhibitor resources page about driving qualified booth traffic. That was one of the first webinars we had in the overall exhibitor education program for the meeting this year. And let's talk a little bit about the exhibitor portal. This is the area on the Academy's website for exhibitors, and this is the secure site where you'll be logging in to take care of several important planning processes for your participation at the meeting. The exhibitor registration pass-through is here. You would also, if you have not already secured your housing, it would be handled here in the portal. When you put your information, when you were sent your information, confirming your booth space at the Academy, you should have gotten a credentials for logging into the Exhibitor portal. It is the email that was assigned to your company record on file with the Academy, and the password is usually AAO 2018, all lowercase. The Exhibitor Service Manual tab is here, and as you see on this particular screen is a screenshot of the Exhibitor Portal landing page, and you'll see that rectangular lavender box on the right-hand side. That is the portal where you will actually log in for the secure exhibitor site. Using your login credentials on the overall Academy web pages, it will just cause an error, and it really doesn't do you any good. So you always want to go through that, pass through that lavender login portal prompt, put in your credentials, and then you'll actually be into the portal where you'll see a ribbon bar of activities that would be for the service manual, for housing, for registration, and also for secondary activities on the show floor, wet labs, demonstrating lasers, and that type of a thing. Most important thing is to pay attention to the deadlines. There is a important dates PDF on the landing page of Exhibitor Central that'll give you some of the important dates in the overall planning cycle. Also, there's a checklist that's in the service kit that is actually a checklist of when the deadlines are for all of the supplier order forms, electrical, internet, and that kind of a thing. If you have any questions about the service manual, I would suggest that you contact the Freeman staff directly. Freeman is the official general contractor of the Academy's annual meeting, so they would handle all of the services such as furniture and labor, freight, material handling, and that kind of service on the show floor in Chicago. Their email address is freemanchicagoes@freemanco.com. And if you go to the next slide, Jefferson, and here, I've already started talking about this a little bit, that you'll use Exhibitor Central as your main page for information and important rules and regulations. I send out a monthly newsletter. I just sent, Exhibitor Bulletin. I just sent one out on August 21st. If you have not or did not receive that bulletin, please email me directly, azamataro@aao.org, and we'll send you some of the bulletins that have already been sent to catch you up on those. Use pre-show marketing. I can't tell you how important it is and how much improvement we've seen with exhibitors who've actually taken the time to and investing in pre-show promotion to their target audience. And there was a wide variety of things that you can do, including, as I mentioned earlier, the free digital booth in the virtual exhibition. But our surveys have shown, and every year we conduct an exhibitor survey asking many questions about your planning processes and your successes at the meeting, have shown that those who have done pre-show promotion have had a better return on their investment. And of course, keep your contact information current. If there are any changes in your company and who may be handling the main processes for your company, be sure to contact us. We have a main email, exhibitions@aao.org, and you can send all your questions to that particular email, or in your workbook you'll see there are individuals outlined, and feel free to contact anyone on the team who'll be happy to help you. The other thing to be very careful of is there are a lot of contractors trying to poach your business from the meeting. We have companies that are contacting our exhibitors saying that they are the Academy's official contractor for housing, say, or for any of the other services, and they're poachers. They're basically just trying to get you to reserve through them, and whether that inventory will be there when you arrive in Chicago is, really a toss of the dice. So on the Exhibitor Central webpage, we do have an official contractor listing for you to become familiar with. Also, any of our official contractors will always send an official contractor designation in any emails that they send to you. And so, again, this slide is talking about the free exhibitor marketing opportunities. You have all secured your exhibit space in time to be listed in the printed mobile meeting guide that will be distributed on site to all attendees. And for the mobile meeting guide, which will be launched shortly, so that has already been taken care of. And then, of course, as I mentioned earlier, it's all important for you to populate your free digital booth. Leveraging social media, I've asked Jefferson to add Abby's information here at the bottom of the slide so you can contact her directly if you're interested in promoting your participation on any of these social media sites.
All right. Thank you, Anna. Wow, a lot of great insights. And, the big thing when Anna showed you who attends and she broke it into practices and specialties, subspecialties, that's the key for you to create your profile. AAO does a tremendous job of being transparent in their attendance and detailed in their attendance. And it makes your life as an exhibitor a lot easier because it helps you define, what types of practices, what specialties, what job functions, in what geographical areas. And then it allows you to work with Abby and the team to create a targeted pre-show marketing campaign.
Let me just interject there too, Jefferson, is when I talk about the digital booth and that you're able to populate that with a 25-word profile and 2 contacts and your product and service categories, we've also included categories on all the subspecialties in ophthalmology as well as the common conditions that they relate to.
Nice.
So exhibitors can select that kind of information and they can be filtered and sorted out by the physician by those topics as well.
Nice. Yeah. So, it's like sometimes the fastest way to succeed is just don't make the mistakes that so many exhibitors fall victim to. And I want to share with you real quickly here what I believe to be the top 10 that we see over and over and over again. So avoid these 10 at all cost. Number 1, as Anna said, spend some time with the exhibitor service kit in the portal. Almost every hassle, every headache, every cost overrun that you experience probably could have been avoided by spending more time with the exhibitor service kit. Number 2, unrealistic expectations. When you run the PSO formula that I gave you earlier and you identify your exhibit interaction capacity, you're using science. One of my mentors said that the numbers tell the story. And when you run your exhibit interaction capacity and you know that you have the capacity for 168 face-to-face one-to-one interactions in your booth, you can be realistic about what your goals are. For example, if you were to come in the show and say, wow, there's going to be like 14,000 healthcare professionals, we should get 1,000 leads. No, you're not going to get 1,000 leads. You don't even have the capacity for that many interactions. So make sure that your expectations are realistic but reach, and use the formulas that we're giving you. They work. We've been doing them for over 25 years. Number 3, everybody has reasons, but here's the key. Reasons are not enough. If you do not take the time to convert them to actionable goals, backed up with action plans, then you're basically exhibiting by hope, not exhibiting by objectives. Number 4, looking at your location and saying, hey, because I'm located here, I'm going to win, or the flip side, because I'm located here, there's no way that I can win. There's no perfect booth location. My philosophy is don't count on it as the reason you're going to succeed. Don't let it be the reason you fail. The antidote to a perceived bad location is targeted pre-show marketing, a well-designed exhibit, a valuable interactive experience, and a booth staff that proactively works. So you can win this game from any location on this show floor. Number 5, which plays to what we just said, but you got to pre-market. Number 6, your exhibit has to communicate. It's got to grab attention. It's got to answer who you are, what you do, and why they should care. It's got to be easy to enter, navigate, and exit. And everything can fall apart with ineffective design, which we're going to look at the show while you're there. Number 7, give very, very, very careful consideration to how you show, tell, and present your products or services. Surgeons are very tactile, very hands-on people. They want to touch things. They want to push buttons. They want experiential. So make sure you deliver a highly interactive presentation. Number 8, your booth staff. This can all fall apart right here. You can do these first 7 well, but if you got people in that booth who are looking and acting like they don't want to be there, you're going to struggle, right? So best people forward. Make sure everybody on your team watches the Secrets of the Aisles webinar. It is the equivalent of a $5,000 exhibit staff training workshop for free. Number 9, we talked about leads. Get more than just what's in the badge. Ask the visitor what the next step is and follow up. It's a big problem. And number 10, give yourself a reasonable amount of time to evaluate the value of the show. I'll be very honest when I tell you this. If you market right to the ophthalmology marketplace, you're absolutely in the right show. That being said, I don't think there's any practical, prudent, realistic way you're going to be able to judge the ultimate value from one attempt. I encourage you to make a 3-show commitment using the resources we're giving you and learning and getting better from every show. Okay, so let's close this down and open for questions. Is take the opportunity to learn. Try to have enough people so you can get out and walk the exhibit hall. Look for booths that work. Look for booths that don't work. Look at your booth through the eyes of a stranger. Be where the attendees are. Attend educational sessions when possible. Look for the social and the networking events. Don't just go have dinner with your team and go back to the hotel. Be where the attendees are in the morning and the evening. Use the measurement tool. This is going to give you a very quick tail of the tape. Grab your 3 lessons so you can do even better at your next show. And remember this, it takes time, right? How do you eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time. We've given you a very robust onboarding program that if you'll apply and stay committed, I promise you there will come a day that you'll look back and go, what a difference a trade show can make in our company's business. That's why we're doing this. So the stage is set, right? You've got the resources, you've got the roadmap, you've got the tools, you have the support. How successful you want to be. Let's make this happen. And remember this, it's not what you heard today that's going to matter. It's going to be what you do. Knowledge is not power. Knowledge intelligently applied is power. And we want to empower you as new exhibitors and long-term partners with AAO so that you win the game. Okay, so I'm going to take a look in the question queue, and while I do that, Anna, any closing thoughts or comments from the AAO?
No, I just want to thank everybody for spending the time with us this morning. We really think that this program, duly executed, will certainly make a difference in your success at the Academy's meeting. Know that we, the exhibition staff, are here to help you. If you ever have any questions or concerns, by all means, don't hesitate to reach out to us.
Okay. Anna, I have a first question that's, I think, in your wheelhouse. We have a small 10 by 10 booth. Are we allowed to set up our own booth if we have a pop-up booth?
Yes. Yes, and you'll find that information not only in the exhibitor service manual, that e-kit that's online through the exhibitor portal, but one thing I failed to mention is that McCormick Place has a very good website. So even going to www.mccormickplace.com, there is an exhibitors section of their website, and it answers a lot of questions about the labor in Chicago, which has changed quite a bit. And also, things like, the parking that's available there. And also, of course, you'll be ordering some utilities through the building as well.
Okay, thank you, Anna. This question, I think, will be in my wheelhouse. What would you include in a minimalist booth, meaning budget? Well, first of all, the budgeting rule of thumb is floor space cost times 3. That's the starting point, the rule of thumb. When you're in a big show, this is a big show, when you're in the more expensive convention cities for travel, hotel, dining, labor, and all that, floor space times 5. Okay, so floor space times 3 to 5. The areas that you have to invest on are floor space, the exhibit itself, show services, transportation, that would be freight, drayage, then travel and entertainment for your staff, promoting your participation, and lead management. Those would be the 7 big areas. And by the way, if you download the cost control tool on the site, it'll give you the areas along with a budget and an actual, and it'll create your own pie chart and will automatically compare your spending to the averages, and it's loaded with tips on how to save money. Next question, how far in advance of a show should we start planning? This is a great question, and for me, 16 weeks prior, I'm talking rolling up the sleeves, getting after it, is really like the sweet spot, right? You don't want to get in a show late, 2 or 3 weeks, and try to figure it out. And, in some cases, you may be doing a lot of shows. So when we built the 16-week planning tool, which is also free on the website, you'll see exactly what should be happening week by week. So grab that tool. So that is all I'm seeing for questions. So on behalf of Anna, Deborah, and the entire team at AAO and Jefferson here at Competitive Edge, welcome to the family here. We view our relationship with you as a long-term partnership. We want to help you grow your business. If you'll work with us, if you'll use the tools that we give you, if you'll take advantage of this incredible opportunity that is right down the pike, you're going to have a magnificent show. Anna, any closing thoughts?
You just wrapped it up, Jefferson. As you said, welcome to the family. And again, don't hesitate to contact us if you have any questions. We want your experience to be very successfar.
Outstanding. So watch your emails very closely, everybody. We're going to pull you through these 4 steps you see on the screen, and fire away with questions, and we will see you at the meeting very soon. Thanks for logging in, everybody. This concludes our new exhibitor web briefing.